So in the last video, I showcased how did I modify my Robert Pattinson DC Multiverse McFarlane Toys Batman. So why not do the same thing? This time, I'm showing my first custom figure of the Marvel Legends Superior Spider-Man. So you may wondering, why make a custom if there is a official Hasbro version? Because at the time, I wasn't even collecting. So, since I like this character, I decided to make my own. This figure actually uses the Marvel Legends Symbiote Spider-Man from the Kingpin wave. For more closer look, this head is still the same as the original figure. I did customize a little bit out of it. I changed the eyes since the lens are weirdly sprouting out, so that's why it's a little bit changed out. As you can see, for the webs, it's still that nicely rugged look since that's how it looks like from the comics. For the body, it's still that nice red paint that I chose, and it looks very nice throughout the figure. And I used a pen to draw all the web lines, that's why it looks so messy. You have maybe thinking, why it looks so messy? Well, in the comics, the web lines actually are very rugged look. So this gives it a advantage to that look. As for the rest, for the body, it's still that plain black look with toes. The toes are still there since I don't know how to sculpt to remove that since this is my first custom, right? And as for the hands, it's still that red paint that I put on with some of those web lines. As you may be wondering, this hand looks weird. Well, I made this hand out of two figures actually. The one at the bottom is from the original hand, and from the top at the fingers, it's from the Spider-Man at the ZD Toys line from China. And as for the hands as well, he doesn't have those gauntlets web shooter that he has from the comic, since I don't know how to sculpt and I don't know what to choose yet, so that's why it's still that bland look. I might have to change this look. Before we go on to the articulation, as you may see, I tried my best to sand out the figure with a sandpaper, obviously. I prevent from paint rubs and everything. I sanded all the joints and I tried my best even as for the neck hinge. But as for the rest, since the bottom part is black, it doesn't really need that sandpaper, so that's why it looks very nice actually. And as you may notice by now, it has a lot of dust. Because of that, since the paint that I chose is that very cheap paint, it's very sticky, so that's why the dust, it's still coming to the figure, since you know I put this on the shelf, so that's why it has those dust. This figure uses the Peter Spidey mold, so you may know what you're seeing right now. You can look this far up, this far down, you can look side to side, a little bit of head tilt. As you can see, it has those bicep swivel, the hands can move up this far and quite a bit down, and he can rotate his arm, bicep swivel, double at the elbow, and the hands can hinge up and down and rotates. As for the torso, he can hunch down, hunch back, waist swivel, kick up this far back. He has upper thigh cut, double at the knee, the feet can move down, up, and ankle pivot. Now for the best part, it comes with these awesome spider legs. How did I did this? Actually, this backpack piece here, this comes with the Iron Spider from the basic wave, and as for the legs, actually it comes with the ZD Toys Iron Spider. And as you may notice, the gold paint, it's still there since I ran out of paint, so that's why it's a little bit sloppy. And of course, it can hinge right off here and right off here, and lastly in here. Unfortunately, this thing cannot swivel at all, so we're stuck with these pose. To put it on, this figure has the peg all and here as well, so you can just put it on and here's how it looks. To be fair though, this thing automatically falls on the figures as you can see right there, which kinda sucks, but to be fair, this is my first custom, right? So, you know, for some size comparisons, here he is with Sandman, here he is with Doc Ock, and as you can see, they both have those tentacles and spider legs since they are both the same characters. Here he is with Spider-Man. Lastly, here he is with Peter Parker himself. You see some head swaps. And there he is, how it looks. The neck is a little bit thin for this head, so it might look so weird, but for a different angles though, it quite looks good for this body actually. Considering this is my first custom though, I think to myself that I did quite good. The fact that there is some flaws to it, but to be honest, it's my second try to make this figure. Since my first try is quite a fail, so I learned how to sand all the joints, you know, to prevent from paint rub. To me, it's decent for a first custom, especially that I did the spider legs. Since for this custom, especially that I did the spider legs, so I'm gonna give this custom for a first custom a 7.5 out of 10.